Hey, I'm here. Welcome to my channel. Today I will be reading from a subreddit. So let's jump right into it. Am I the asshole for leaving my boyfriend after he said I wasn't good enough for his parents? My boyfriend Mark, 32, and I, 29, have been together for 8 months. I thought Mark was the one. We met at a tech event, and from the very beginning, he made me feel special. He was smart, charming, confident, the kind of guy who seemed to have his whole life together. For the first few months, everything felt perfect. He'd take me out to nice dinners, talk about his goals, and tell me how lucky he was to have me. But there was one thing that always felt off. I never met his parents. Every time I brought it up, he'd brush it aside. At first I didn't think much of it. Maybe they lived far away. Maybe he wasn't close with them. But over time, the excuses piled up. One day, I finally asked him directly, "Why haven't I met your family?" That's when he looked me in the eyes and said, "You're just not what they'd expect." I was stunned. He went on to say that his family came from money and they had certain standards. According to him, I wasn't polished enough, not fancy enough, not someone they'd accept as his future wife. It hit me like a truck. I had a good job, my own apartment, a solid life, but apparently that wasn't enough for him or them. After that, things got worse. He started criticizing the way I dressed, the way I talked, even the shows I liked watching. He said I was too basic, that I needed to be more refined if I ever wanted to fit in with his world. I started second-guessing everything. I changed how I dressed. I avoided talking about my favorite hobbies. I even stopped laughing as loudly because he once said it made me sound immature. I lost myself trying to be what he wanted, and then he dumped me. He said it was for my own good, that I deserved someone who could accept me for who I am. But a week later, he was dating a girl from a wealthy family, someone who looked like she stepped out of a fashion magazine. That crushed me. I cried for days, but eventually something in me snapped. I realized that trying to impress people who didn't value me was a waste of time. So I focused on myself. I threw myself into my work. I started running again. I reconnected with friends I had distanced myself from, and then on a flight back from a solo trip, I met Ethan. He was calm, kind, and genuine. We talked for hours, no pretending, no games, just two people being real with each other. He later told me he ran a clean energy company, but he never bragged about it. He was humble and smart, and he respected me exactly as I was. Fast forward a year later, Ethan and I were engaged. He proposed during a weekend hike in the most sincere and beautiful way. We were invited to a charity gala, and I felt so proud to walk in with him. I wore a simple black gown, nothing too flashy, just me being me, and guess who I saw as we walked in? Mark, with his parents. The moment our eyes met, I could see the shock on his face. He glanced at my ring, then at Ethan, then back at me. His parents came over to introduce themselves. His mum smiled warmly and said, So, you're Ethan's. We've heard such wonderful things about you. She hugged me like she'd known me for years. Mark didn't say a word. He tried to catch me alone later, but I politely kept my distance. I didn't need to explain anything. I wasn't there for him. I wasn't there to prove anything. I was just living my life, and finally it felt like the life I was meant to live. I wasn't the girl trying to change herself to fit into someone else's mold. I was the woman who chose herself, who grew, healed, and found love that didn't come with conditions. Mark once told me I wasn't good enough for his parents. Turns out I was more than good enough, just not for him. And I'm okay with that, because now I have everything I need and I didn't have to change a thing to get it. That was my channel. And if you like this story, check out more content like this. See you next time.